Alright, so, as the title says, someone called the cops on me mistaking my camera and tripod for a gun. So in other words, I could have been shot or otherwise, just because an ignoramus from Traverse City thought my tripod and camera, which I'm using right now, was a gun. Yeah, so that literally happened. And from what I was told, it was an illegal detainment as well, but that isn't too much of a big deal right now. I'll get on that later, but ultimately, I was sitting on this bench, right? And, I figured, I was just walking around, no big deal. Because that's what I usually do in the summer. I walk around, just, and enjoy the summer after 8 months or some more, sometimes, of winter. And I got a new camera, so I wanted to test it out. So I was walking around downtown, Front Street and all that, and then I make my way up here, and I sit on this very bench right here. And so the story begins. So, first of all, I see an officer go up from this street down here, and he makes his way, that away, to, take the left. And so he didn't pass through that way though. He just stopped at the end of the street down there. So I thought, okay, no big deal, whatever, he's probably just setting to catch drunks coming out of the bar or something. Well then, another officer comes down and parks just behind those bushes over there. And there were two drunken, loud females that were walking down the street this way. And then all of a sudden, as they get to the statue right there, they're like, oh! And then they run over there behind the bushes as well and get really, really silent. So I think to myself, okay, that isn't suspicious at all. And then, to my right over this way, which I didn't particularly look, but I heard a police officer's radio go beep. So they were communicating, but trying to be stealthy, but they failed, more or less. And so then I look, of course, further that way, and I see the shadow figure of an individual, because of the fact that it's so backlit, as you can tell, that anyone standing there would be, showing through their shadow image. So at that point in time, I realized they set up a fucking perimeter around me. But I will continue this story in my place. I just wanted to give you the environment in which this happened. So now that you have the environment and the literal location where I was and where they had set their perimeters, you can better understand the elaboration of everything. So, as I was stating before, I was sitting on the bench, and I noticed officer number 1 drove past, went into that little section right behind me to the left, and then officer number 2 rolls up, takes a right on northeast, where I showed you, behind the little bushes over there. And then after a while, kind of thinking about stuff, because I was taking a little break because I had walked myself all to hell that day. I hear a police radio beep, because they communicate with each other, so they have that beep sound. And I heard it to the southeast of me. So at that point in time, as I said before, they set a triangular perimeter around me, so they had me at basically every angle. So I was like, just fucking wonderful. Now at the time, I thought they were just observing me, watching me, because they thought I was getting what you would expect out of Traverse City people, like a drug drop off or something of that sort. Because drugs are so insane in Traverse City in particular, but northern Michigan in general. So I thought, after a while they made me just fucking leave. Boy, was I wrong. So I get up and I stand up rather, and I start looking at my phone because I was like letting those officers know, hey, I know where the fuck you are. And so I was thinking maybe if I looked like I was texting someone that they would leave, thinking I just called it off or something. Well, boy was I wrong. Officer number 1 behind the bushes over there pops up with his flashlight, basic police protocol stuff. Try to distort my visual sight with the flashlight into the eyes, and telling me not to move and to put my hands on my head. And then again, with the perimeter set, I knew exactly what was going to happen afterwards. Not only that, but I also heard Officer number 2 and Officer number 3 rush up behind me because I could hear their footsteps through the grass. And so I rolled my eyes. I was like, oh boy, here we go. One of two things were going to happen. Either I was going to be tackled or I was going to be shot. Maybe even tased. Who knows? But I held a calm, professional demeanor as I always do in a stressful situation. My training kicks in at that point. And so the officer number 2 that was hiding where his shadow was lit, he comes up and grabs my hands, put them behind my back, that thing, and then yells to Officer number 1 and Officer number 3, "It's just a camera, guys." And at that point, boom, I knew exactly what it really was, and I was like, fucking serious? Someone or the police themselves thought I had a gun. Boy, was I right. So anyways, Officer number 3 that was hiding behind the tree to the right of me, behind me, asks, after I was patted down and after they confirmed I had no weapons, etc., do you know why this is happening? I was like, yes. Either you guys or a ignorant Traverse City citizen with all their stupidity in full blossom, and yes, I did say it exactly like that, thought I had a gun, a weapon. And so Officer number 3 replies with, yeah, someone reported you as having a long gun. In other words, a rifle of the sorts. So I was like, what an ignoramus. I mean, I know Traverse City people are stupid as they come, but come on. If you can't tell the difference between a tripod and camera and a strapped-on gun, then you've got to be mentally retarded in the literal sense, like slow, stupid, whatever, uneducated, however you want to put it. So whoever that was, I feel bad for you. Not only that, but I pity how stupid you are. You must live a life of special kind of stupidity. Anyways, so after that, they're like, Officer number 2 states, oh, you're not in trouble or anything after this, you're free to go. And I sarcastically was like, oh yeah, I know, because obviously I was doing nothing wrong. I haven't had any police involvement for anything in a seriously long time, ever since, like, as a minor or whatever. So I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong, and I had no reason to be detained or arrested or anything else for that matter. So I let him know just how stupid this was, and while also acknowledging that I knew. And then, Officer number 1 behind the bushes, he called my name in from my ID and so on and so forth, and of course I had no warrants and all that other crap. So Yeah. But the good thing is, officer number 3, you know, he apologized for it, but he also, you know, asked that I understand why this was going on. I was like, yeah, it's all good. I get it, you know, because just that morning, that Santa Fe school shooting happened. So of course, if the police get a call of a gun, they're gonna take it seriously, you know, and they're gonna be on edge. Well, you know, so I get it, you know, but later on when I was telling my buddies about it, I was informed that that was actually illegal to be detained. One, because it was the open carry. 2, I wasn't using it. And all these other reasons. I presented no threat, etc., etc. I was just literally just casually walking around enjoying the nice 75-degree weather. That, you know, that it was yesterday. So, yeah. But on the good note, I want to give a thumbs up, double thumbs up to the Traverse City Police Department. I know that police get a lot of crap, especially nowadays, but considering the situation that they thought it might have been, and at the time thought it was, I must give them a shout out for their courtesy and their professionalism, because, you know, they could have been trigger happy. They could have been overly aggressive. They could have done all sorts of over-the-top reaction type things, but instead they approached me in a calm, professional manner, and they didn't have any ego trip like, oh, I'm a police officer, so I'm all that. No, they talked to me like I was a human being. They talked to me like I was a buddy, per se. So, you know, I've made videos before, you know, how the police around here, you know, they stop someone for a simple car infraction or whatever, and then all of a sudden 5 more officers show up, or police cruisers rather. You know, I've done that, but, you know, I give credit where credit's due, alright? These 3 officers were very, very amazing officers, and I give, you know, my full respect to them for how they handled the situation, for all things considered, what they thought it was. Because honestly, I could have been shot, you know, May 18th, because some stupid Traverse City ignoramus somehow thought a camera attached to a tripod hanging sideways, because I had the Nikon strap around my neck, which my camera is attached to, and my camera was therefore attached to the tripod, and I had it hanging down slightly, you know, and to avoid my tripod from bumping in my knees, I had it swerved to the side a little bit. So, again, even with that setup, still confused, still thought it was a gun. Like, I know that Traverse City people are literally the most stupid people on earth, but this level of stupidity even surprised me. Nonetheless, the whole baboom of this was, I could have been shot because of the stupidity of a Traverse City citizen. And typically I rag on Traverse City people's stupidity just because they're outrageously stupid, but at the same time it really doesn't like directly affect me, so it's not typically, you know, a problem. A problem really becomes a real problem when it starts to directly affect people. Not just in an annoying sense, but in a sense where my life could have been taken. I could have been killed had these officers been trigger happy, power hungry, whatever. All because of a stupid, ignorant, misinformed, fear-mongering, retarded Traverse City citizen. Now it's a problem. So I'm gonna be behind the scenes and whatnot, and doing certain things, and contacting certain people, um, you know, doing what I have to do on my end, because when people are so stupid that they are now risking other people's lives due to their own ignorant stupidity, there's a real problem for you. I shouldn't have to worry about my life being taken in this overprivileged city full of druggies and junkies, all because of ignorant stupidity. And yes, I mean literally ignorant and stupid combined. I shouldn't have to worry about my life being taken just because I want to go on a casual stroll with my camera and tripod. Just because I don't want to carry it like this or whatever, and I just want to carry it around my neck and have it to my side so I don't have to continue to carry it and I have use of both my hands. I shouldn't have to worry about being killed because of that in this overprivileged city full of idiotic drunks and ignorant junkies and just plain old overprivileged people. Look, this is northern Michigan. This is Traverse City. This isn't Texas. This isn't Florida. This isn't LA. The people around here, again, worst case scenario, are just junkies. Mass shootings happening in Traverse City, about a 0.1%. Alright? I would actually be amazed, surprised, whatever, if anything actually was to happen beyond that. Yeah, we have our little violent crimes here and there, but they're few and far in between. They're so rare that it only happens once in a great while. Other than that, it's always drunk people getting into fist fights, or drunk driving, junkie related people things, drug selling, drug consuming, whatever. And that's the main crime that happens here. So, anyways, long story short, police were called on me because some idiot thinks that a tripod and camera is a gun. And because of my situational awareness, I was able to see them literally set up their little perimeter around me. So, all things considered, it's probably a good thing that I am such a good person because of how observant I am. Which, by the way, one of the officers actually did credit me to my observational skills, which again, my situational awareness and training kicked in. So of course, I always know my environment. I know what's going on. Nonetheless, I'm calculating and precise. I am very thorough with what I do. So, if I was going to do something, it wouldn't be openly walking around with a gun. I can assure you that. I mean, let's really think about this for a second. Even if I did have a gun, one, I wouldn't be just openly walking around with an assault rifle strapped over my shoulder. Oh yeah, look at me, I got a big gun. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Two, if I had evil intentions and a gun, you really think I'd just be casually strolling along fucking Front Street, not doing anything? Literally, just walking? Common sense, anyone? Oh my god. So, I mean, again, Traverse City people are well documented for being as stupid and ignorant as they come, but I guess there's always new lows to be reached, huh? Anyways, that's my little random experience of the beginning of summer, spring, whatever. So, May 18th, I almost got shot. Woo! Or otherwise, police would call on me for false report, and I got illegally detained. So, either way, it's all good. It's whatever. I'm going to be dealing with certain situations and doing what I have to do. But I figured you guys would find that just as interesting because, you know, one, it's Traverse City, and it's kind of, that stupidity is more or less to be expected. And two, it's just something that doesn't happen every day. As you know, usually this channel is dedicated to video game relations, rants, reviews of certain things, or just in general controversial topics, you know, intellectual topics, things of that nature. But you know, I figured I'd give this little experience just to show that, you know, I do have things happen to me every now and then, but it's whatever. So hope you enjoyed my little experience there. Till next time, bye.